I did 10 years in the feds for throwing Molotov cocktails at a congressman's office, and glad to be here.
Dang, that is something, man. What what made you like? I don't know if we want to jump into that right now. Where'd you grow up at?
Yeah, I grew up in Kansas City. I'm from the city. Uh, so yeah, I'm just a city kid.
Yeah. So what was your childhood like? Like being behind closed doors.
Yeah, I was raised just a poor white trash kid. Um, Grew up in real poverty, but super loved, super supported. Um, Saw just horrible things like that, and that's what helped shape everything that happened afterwards.
Did you get into fights as a when you were young?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We were fighting all the time. That's what happens in poor communities. Like we take it out on each other instead of the people keeping us poor. I went to juvie. We had all sorts of horrible stuff happen.
Was there a moment where you felt disconnected from normal society?
Juvie. Um, yeah, I did like 6 months there for breaking into houses. Like I thought it was rich people's houses, so I broke in and like fucked up their house. Um, but yeah, that was the main time. My whole world was like my small city, so like everyone I knew was also poor. So I didn't really realize how big the world was or what was happening outside of my neighborhoods.
Yeah. Did music or culture influence at you early?
No, no, it
It
didn't.
didn't.
I was like into. I think all city kids are like into rap and stuff. I think it was like 3 6 Mafia back then and like Bone Thugs. But that wasn't a part of like that wasn't a shaping part of my life. I was more into the. I was always into the how can we fight authority shit.
Yeah. So what got you into the all the activism and all that, the politics?
Sure. It was seeing the police and the banks fucking ruin the lives of poor people, like my neighbors and everything. You see enough of your neighbors get their shit thrown out on the front lawn by these cops, you start realizing that like there's a reason this is happening and it's a systematic reason. And the reason the cops are doing this is because they're paid by the banks. And so that's what helped me develop a like a wait a minute, like what is happening here? Mentality is all that bullshit.
Yeah. When you did time in Ferguson, did that change your mindset at all?
I didn't do time in Ferguson. I did time after Ferguson.
Oh.
Ferguson's where the riots happened.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but no, like all that stuff reinforced it. Like the cops inside prison are still working on behalf of the upper classes, keeping poor people down. The correctional officers are all class traitors, all racist. Even the colored ones are still like doing white supremacist shit for them.
Yeah,
I watched.
it's all about money.
Yeah,
I think it's all about money.
they're making money off of our repression. So no, it only made it worse for me.
Did you feel like the system was corrupt before prison, or did you always know that?
Oh, I always knew that. I was fighting against the system long before I went inside. That's a multi decades long thing.
All right, so walk us through the day that you got arrested. What happened? That's a crazy story. You know, everybody wants to hear that.
Yeah. So I was going to work. I'd been bouncing around house to house, couch to couch, and I was sleeping on a friend's futon. And I was just going out to work, and the cops rolled up on us. It was like a big metal van or like a paddy wagon, whatever, and they got their machine guns. They're like, get your fucking ass on the ground. So I've got a backpack full of cocktail Molotovs. I've got a car full of guns, and so I'm just
Oh, you were
got
ready to go. You were
yeah.
ready to go.
We weren't stopping for nothing. Like we weren't stopping until the cops got us, but they got us pretty fast. So
Yeah, you ended up you threw one of those cocktails through a congressman's window.
two of them, two cocktails. Uh, I got to be honest though, neither went through the window. They both hit the window frame, so I felt really embarrassed about that. But I burned the shit out of that window frame.
So how aggressive were the federal agents? Were they aggressive with you?
The ones that arrested me were state. They were just KCPD, and then they take you down to 12th and Locust, and that's when the FBI comes and interviews you, and then takes you to a federal holding facility.
Okay. So did they try to talk to you?
No,
Did
they didn't
they
say fucking
take
shit to me. Just get your ass in the wagon. And so they didn't say two words to me.
what was your first night locked up like?
So, in Kansas City at that jail, it's just one room, and there's like one bench in the middle, and then one toilet off to the side that everyone obviously can see you shit and everything. So that first night was brutal. I just sat on the floor. I used my shoes as a pillow. It was freezing. There's like 40 people in this small ass room. I'm shocked that shit didn't pop off. Honestly, that just feels like a recipe for violence. But that's what was
Yeah.
happening. It sucks.
Did um did some people disappear when you got locked up?
Are you talking about friends and family?
Yeah.
Every single person except for two people in my life disappeared. Some of them came back, but every single one said, "See ya. We're not doing this shit." They don't like
Yeah,
that.
trust me, I know about that. I know about that. When you're gone, out of sight, out of mind, man. You when you're gone, did anybody betray you?
Someone did. I never found out who ratted, but the cops knew exactly where I was, exactly what time I was going to work, exactly like what street I would be on. So someone said something. I don't know who, but they don't just find you in the middle of the inner city. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, somebody had to tell. So what prison did you first land in?
So I did pre-trial in a for-profit industry. It's called CCA, Core Civic of America. So that's where I did my first pre-trial. But that comment's a motherfucker. The first jail I went to was a low. It was FCI Inglewood in Denver.
What was the intake process like for people that's never been?
Yeah, so just so you know, like low security prisons and the feds are weird. Like those are weird, creepy facilities. But when you roll up, like I had to fly there, so we drove from Kansas to
They
Oklahoma
flew
City.
you out there?
Yeah, yeah. From Kansas City, we flew to Oklahoma City, and then flew from Oklahoma City to Denver.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that process is exhausting. Like it wears you out. You're hungry. You're tired. You got to piss. You got to shit. Um, and then it takes hours. So we left the facility at 5 a.m. I wasn't processed till probably 8 p.m. And then you're just given a blanket, which has like some soap in it, some shampoo, and you're just sent to your little unit. And it is mentally exhausting.
What do you think? What is the difference for? I get asked this a lot. What is the difference between federal and state? Do you know?
I
Doing
know what
time?
the difference is in charges. As far
Well,
as
I'm
the
saying just
prison,
doing time in general.
I don't want to like undercut state prison, but it seems like state prisons have like more access to programs. They seem less racially segregated. Maybe I'm wrong. Uh,
Yeah.
but that's how it always seems. Like you just see people like free associating. It's like good for you.
See, I've never been to federal prison, but I is it like this out there? You got cars out there and you stick with your races.
Yeah, I was in the white Kansas City car all
See,
through
in
my.
state, it's nothing like that. You got white gangs,
Yeah,
but you can the white gang members can talk to black gang members. Everybody can associate with each other. It's nothing like that.
no. Maybe like there's stuff that you can associate with like business and everything. So you can make money, you can jeff a little bit, but you're not going to be spending time with a person of another race. You're not going to be like selling things to them or hanging out with them or like playing basketball with them. You're not doing none of that shit. You'll get killed or fucked up.
Yeah. So what shocked you the most about federal prison?
The racist stuff. I wasn't prepared because I'm from a black city. So I wasn't prepared for how intense the racism was. Where like you can't eat, sleep, work out, share food, like all this stuff. Um, I wasn't ready for, and then the amount of violence if you cross that line, like seeing people get seriously, seriously hurt just for selling a knife to a black dude or sharing a cup of coffee with someone. Like that shit fucked me up. I wasn't ready for it at all. I should have been.
Do you have something that like stands out in your mind that like that you've seen in there that you can't forget?
Dude, I what sticks out in my mind is me getting fucked up by these white dudes for letting black dudes into my yoga class. I taught yoga.
Well, hey, let's start from the beginning with that one.
Yeah.
Start
So
from the beginning.
I was at a medium, and it's like it was a serious medium, but it's still a medium. And I taught a yoga class, and so I'm a soft dude. I'm
Hold
not
on, they
ashamed of that.
let you teach yoga class in there?
Yeah, at 7 a.m.
That's crazy. I never heard of that.
Yeah, I was lucky, I guess. I made $15 a month.
That-
But I would
That's a
let
lot.
all it's a lot, it's fine. I would let all the races in, I would let everybody into my class, and every now and then there'd just be people waiting for me in the cell and they'd jump. But because I wouldn't check in, I got to stay on the yard, you just take your licks. But I remember that shit a lot, that like if you want racial solidarity in prison, you're gonna pay a price for it. And I hate that price.
Yeah. So how did it come about that you got, messed up?
With those guys,
Yeah.
they would just be waiting in the cell. They're waiting in the cell and you come up, and so they give you the like, you know what time it is. So it's like, well, goddamn, and you already got your boots on or
Okay.
tennis
So
shoes.
you okay, yeah, I see. All right.
Yeah.
Did you have to prove yourself immediately when you went in there to the white cars?
Yeah, you gotta put in work. I've got several of those. I got the paperwork for all that too. It's really funny. But anytime a sex offender or a rat shows up, if it's your time, you have to go do that. And it's a really ugly thing. Like I didn't like that, even though I hate those people. I didn't like having to go with another dude and just beat the shit out of somebody. It feels horrible, but it
Did
happens.
Thank you for that donation. Did people judge you differently because your case was political?
Yeah, the guards did really bad. The guards hated my guts because it was considered a terrorism case. And then the white dudes hated my guts because it was a black liberation movement that I had participated in. So I was borderline seeing a race traitor. Like I was walking that line. So that's why I had to be really delicate with racial stuff, because I was just one bad move away from catching a boot to the face.
Were there gangs trying to recruit you at any point in there?
No, no, God, no, no. Uh, Recruitment in the feds is hard. Like you have to put in a lot of work to get recruited to gangs. Like it can take years. And I am not that type. I spend too much time reading, not enough time talking about how much I hate people and how much violence I want to do. So I was not the right candidate for them.
Yeah. So I mean, how was the food in the feds?
So it changes by custody level. At a low security where all the creeps are, there's like six solid dudes on the entire yard. That place had the best food I've ever had in prison. Like big ass pancakes and all you can eat cereal for breakfast, all the milk you can have. People are taking back like pockets full of milk. But the higher up you go in custody level, the lower the quality of food goes. So by the time I got to ADX, like that shit was garbage. Like it was pure shit. I think about that all the time. Like I have to talk myself out of gorging on good food because I remember how bad that was, and you can't do nothing about it. Like you can't change the food.
Yeah, I remember when I was sitting in jail for like 2 years, waiting to go to prison. The food was horrible, but then I got to prison, and that's the first time they actually gave us like steaks in there, like the cheap kind of steaks. It was cheap kind of steaks, right? But then they changed like the kitchen or the people who did the food, and we never got that again. It was horrible stuff. After that, it was horrible.
What people don't realize about the feds, at least, and probably the state too, is that you have a national menu and a food budget. And if you go underneath that budget, the administrator, they get the difference. So if your budget's 100,000 and they spend 60,000, they get that 40,000. So they have an incentive to give us the worst quality food on earth. And that's what those cocksuckers do.
Yeah, I think I read that they spend like 15 cents per meal on the inmates or something like that. It's something close to that.
Yeah,
it's
you
like
can tell
15
too.
or 12 cents.
You can tell.
Yeah.
It's
I
horrible.
mean, that couldn't some of the meals couldn't even fill up like a 5 year old.
Dude, I'm tiny. Like I'm 5'7", 150, and I was always hungry. I can't imagine these bros that are bulked up or 6'2" or just fat as fuck. I can't imagine how
That's all them
hungry these dudes are.
hookups. That's all
Yeah,
them hookups. Yeah.
it's
Like
rough.
them noodles and all that stuff will blow you up.
It will.
Yeah. And eating the noodles, it's not good for you. All that sodium, man, my ankles were fat. Like I like real fat. It
Yeah. I think that's on purpose too, by the way, to make us sluggish. If they make us sluggish, fill us with garbage, fill us with salts, then all of a sudden we're not as inclined to to bulk up our brains or our
yeah,
bodies. We're lazy.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So you said you witnessed violence
Hmm.
in there.
Yeah.
You wanna go over some of the things you've seen in there? Share
Yeah. I
some of the
saw
things you've seen in there?
Man, I saw really horrible stuff. One of the worst things I saw was I had a homie who was independent. He was independent in Texas, and he didn't like that the ACs were taking over his car. Like they were starting to slowly take over the independent car. And so he was kind of just speaking out about that. And those dudes made up some bullshit saying he was sending messages to SIS, some nonsense. Dude been in for 15 years. He had hard restrictions. He wasn't doing nothing like that. But they ended up jumping the shit out of him and they kicked his face in. And so there's blood everywhere and they kicked off his ear. And
They
seeing
kicked off
someone,
his ear.
yeah, like they were kicking him so much his fucking ear went off. Uh, and
His
so
ear went
that,
off? Like his ear
yeah,
went off of his head.
yeah, it was dangling and they just
God,
kept booting.
they must have had those
Yeah.
them boots on, man.
Yeah, that's when we still had this. Like they got rid of that shit later. That's when you still had the steel toe boots,
Oh
and
yeah, okay, yeah.
and then like seeing people get pumpkin headed. Like I'm sure you know that term when they stomp on
Yeah.
someone's head so much it flattens. And when you when you do that shit, it is horrifying. I saw that happen way too much, and it will make you puke. Like I still think about that sometimes. It gives me the shivers.
Yeah, I remember seeing a couple of fights, and when the guy was on the ground, they always go to try to stomp on his head, and they'll jump up with both feet and land right on its head. I'm like, what are you
Literally,
trying to kill him?
dude. Like they do not care about life at all. Your
They
life
don't.
is meaningless. So
That
yeah.
that's why I like sharing these stories, man, because people don't know what they're getting into when they go in them places. Like they do not care about your life at all.
No, and like I saw that happen at Florence Medium and then at USP McCreary at Big Sand or not Big Sandy, USP Lee. So that's where I saw like the worst violence happen.
What's some things you've seen out? Is there anything that sticks out to you
I mean,
that you can remember?
the ear would have obviously been the worst, but like there's times in prison where you don't know you're breaking the rule. Like they'll your car will have like arbitrary rules and they can change all the time. Or like some gang comes in and they change the rules. So you'll see a white guy. I can only speak on behalf of like white guys. You'll see someone like barely break some rule or some shit, and all of a sudden there's four guys on him, and they are beating him. And you see like when the body stops moving, like they're out, and the bros keep going. Like that is sickening to me. You got blood everywhere, you got teeth everywhere, and they're just stunned. You can see the bruises already developing. Like I saw a dude like he was trying to leave his cell and they start slamming the door on his arm. Like that can break your arm off. It shatters the arm, and you could just hear him
Yeah,
screaming, and you can't do nothing about it. You're not gonna jeopardize your life to save some stranger, but it is grisly. Like it is not cool. Ugh.
I think most of them do that. They take it over the top because they want It's not so much for the dude that they're doing it to. They want everybody else for them to see how ruthless they can really be. It's
Yeah,
the send a message basically. Like
I think you're 100% right.
it could be you. Yeah.
And shittily, like in prison, you have nothing but status and respect from your peers. And if the only way to get it is violence, then that's what you're gonna do to gain that respect and be left alone. So they just have no other choice in their brains except for to embrace that violent culture.
Yeah, you got to think. You try to outdo the next person, so you're trying to outdo the violence. You
Yeah,
know,
that's real as fuck.
did you ever feel fear walking the compound?
Dog, there was never a day I didn't feel fear walking the compound. Like every except for when I was at a low, like no one's gonna touch you there, these weird bitches. But when you're at any higher custody, even like a medium high, um, it you always know that something can happen. You always know. So at least for me, I had fight or flight 24 hours a day. Like someone's gonna try something. And it's not like fear, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? But it's fear as if like stay alert. Like someone's walking behind you, look at them. Someone's standing behind you or beside you, just keeping an eye on people. You're in the chow line, just knowing who's behind you, standing sideways on the walls. Cause I don't want nobody to get a jump on me. And sometimes they did, but yeah, it was just constant awareness of the bullshit that you can get compounded on you.
Yeah, it makes you want to keep your back to the wall. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
What type of inmates were around most?
So at the different custody levels, it changes. So like at a low security, it's mostly people, first time offenders with college educations, myself, no matter what your charges are, sex offenders and rats. That's basically the only people at a low. So you stay away from all the weirdos. You stay away from those people. You associate with the eight or so other solid dudes. And then in a medium, that's when you start getting like the moderate sized gang members, like the gang members that are super violent, people wanting to join gangs, people that like lots of bank robbers, lots of big time drug dealers. It's pretty serious. And then when you get to the penitentiary level, it seems like every motherfucker there is the most dangerous person on earth. That's when you get actual gang leaders. You get people that have done heinous crimes. You get lots of life sentences, and then at ADX is just nothing but the most infamous people in prison. So
Why do you think people like get in there and want to join a gang? Do you think it's because of protection, or they're scared,
no, I don't think it's that. I think
or
it's
they
belonging.
just want to be a part of something?
Yeah, because most people in prison don't have support. They don't have love. They don't have families that are looking out for them or friends. And so all you have is your bros, and you start trauma bonding. That's what it's called. When you're in constant, like serious situations, you start developing relationships with each other, like strong brotherly bonds. And so it makes 100% sense to me why someone would want to join a gang. Like this gang chose me. Like I was good enough that they wanted me. And that's the only sense of validation you'll get your entire 5, 10, 30 years. So I get it. It's stupid, but I get it.
So did anybody take you under their wing at any point to learn?
Oh. If you're talking about like how to do like how to prison, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was old heads that taught me like how to make knives, how to start fires, how to wear your boots to the shower. Your people just hip you to that stuff. Like you learn really quick that if you make a mistake, you're not given all the chances in the world. You have to learn very quickly. These are the rules, and if you follow them, you're good probably. But if you don't, you're going to get hurt, and that's the options. There's not a middle ground there. You follow or you get fucked off.
So what type of people survive prison mentally?
So it depends on the definition of survival. If you mean survival like just make it out or just like get by, then
Just get
violent
by.
people. Yeah, people that are willing to do whatever it takes, people that are willing to do horrible things to impress other people. The people that make it out with their brains intact, those are the people that read the books, that try to buck what's happening, that understand what repression. It's usually older black prisoners for real, or like Norteños. But people that understand what repression is and why this is happening to us. That way they know that the enemy is who locks the doors, not who's in the next door. Like they're not the real enemy. So those people are the ones that make it out with their brains intact, even if they never get out tangibly.
So when I knew that you were coming on for an interview, I read somewhere that you were in segregation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I did 7.5 years out of 10 on seg. None of it PC, none of it on that bullshit.
Oh, you did the
Um,
whole thing straight?
no, I did a year and a half straight, and then I did a month later on, and then I did 5.5 straight.
I was about to
Uh,
say.
yeah, after I fucked up that lieutenant, I never got out of the shoe again for the rest of my bid. Um,
Oh, tell us about that.
oh yeah. So at Florence Medium, because I was on like this activist shit, like I was writing papers about what the prison's doing. I was calling out abuses, helping other races with legal work and stuff. a lieutenant got super mad at me and brought me into his office and jumped me. And so when he jumped me, I fought back and I just happened to control. I just happened to catch him. He wasn't ready for it, so I just pop, 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 pop.
Hold on. So
Um,
rewind it back a little bit. So he brought you in there and just started going off on you.
yeah, he brought me in there and started yelling at me, calling me a terrorist, calling me the F slur, bitch, punk, N-word lover, all this stuff. And I'm just laughing at him like, all right, dude, like, all right, tough guy, I know what you're doing. Like, you're not gonna get me. And then he got so mad at me laughing that he pushed me. And when he pushed me, I still didn't do anything. I was just so shocked. But then he threw two punches. Bop, bop. And on the second one, my body was turned. And you cannot let anyone put their hands on you inside. You know that. Like everyone knows that. I don't care if it's the warden. I don't care if it's fucking Jesus. They cannot touch you inside. And so I lit his ass up and then I got halfway killed by those guards. I got four pointed. I got choked to death. And that just led to a series of years and years of horrible things.
So they heard you in there fighting, and the rest of the COs just ran in there and just started
Yeah, he pressed the
beating you
button.
up.
He pressed the
Oh, okay.
button, like the emergency button. So 7 or 8
Yeah.
guards came rushing in, and they see their coworker in a puddle of blood. They see me standing there with my hands up, like I self defense, self defense, self
Oh yeah,
defense.
you're done.
You're done.
You are done.
I've
And
never
then
been
and
kicked in
there's
any.
no cameras around either. There's no
Not
cameras,
my
are there?
brother. No,
Yeah, you're
no.
done. You're lucky to be alive.
I think about that all the time. Like I really
They
was.
could have literally. There's been times where they COs have killed people.
Yes, lots of times, especially in state prison, honestly. But they gave me beatings that like I didn't think were gonna stop. You don't when you're four pointed, chained to that bed, having to piss yourself. You don't know if that's ever gonna stop. You don't know if they're gonna keep suffocating you, all that shit. So
Hold on, they changed you to a bed.
yeah, I got pictures and videos of that too. It's in the book. It's on my Instagram. We have the videos of that where they cut off your clothes, they rip them off, and they chain you corner to corner to the bed and it just rips your shoulders in half. It destroys your body. It's called four pointing. And they come in and put their
I
hands over your
I
mouth.
didn't know they did all that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to see it, check out the Instagram.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we got the videos. Because we took the second case to trial, so we got all
They
the discovery.
but they don't normally do stuff like that. It was just these, they were corrupt, right? It was just
Yeah,
them.
it's supposed to be done as a last case situation, but if you fuck up staff, they're gonna do it to you. They're gonna hurt you in every way possible. Not a fight, but if you actually hurt staff, you're done.
Okay. How many hours a day were you locked up?
And shoe? 24.
Oh,
Like 24.
you're always locked up in there. I'm
Yeah.
in federal.
On the yard, like when I was on the normal yards, we would if you weren't locked down, like because of a fight or whatever, we had lots of out time. You were basically out all day except for count and then bedtime. But yeah, in the shoe, it was just 24-hour lockdown. And if anyone thinks there are nurses that are supervised getting 4 pointed, they're out their goddamn mind. Uh, we once again, as I said, we got the videos. They don't come in and check on you. They don't give a shit about you. They want you to die. They want you to
Yeah.
suffer.
He was locked up for throwing a Molotov cocktail through a governor's window.
Congress, Congressman's window.
Congressman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they labeled it terrorist act.
Yeah, it was a domestic terror, and I had a STG security threat group, domestic terrorists. I had a central inmate monitoring system. Like that's where they restrict your communication. For like emails take like a week, letters take 3 weeks to a month. Because I had that as a left wing terrorist also. So yeah, they hate you. They hate your guts if you're in there for fighting the government, unless you're a
So
Nazi
what?
fighting the government.
So what does isolation do to your brain?
So there's different levels of isolation. um like when you're in just the normal shoe, you're isolated by yourself, but you're still hearing everybody. You're hearing people bang on the door, you're hearing people rap, you're shooting kites to everyone. So you're by yourself and it creates a I don't know, for me it created a sense of like anger. I was angry then all the time. Like fuck you. Fuck you for giving me cold food. Fuck you for ripping on my mail. Fuck you for not giving me the phone. But then when you get to like ADX, it is so isolated. Like you're in that box and you're by yourself. You are not hearing shit. You are not interacting with people. If the guards take you out of the cell for any reason, they got the batons. So that's where isolation tests you because then you're just in your head 24/7. And people lose their minds in there. Like people really do break
Yeah,
because
yeah, I
that's the
trust. I
goal.
know.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to the point where you were talking to yourself?
Um internally. Uh, I lost it for a bit in the shoe though, for real. You get to the third, fourth, fifth year, like with no visits, no phone calls, no email, you start losing sight of what the goal is. So I would run the team, I would trash the cell, start fires, just always getting fucked up by these guards because I thought I was actually fighting them as opposed to just hurting myself like an idiot.
Did it ever feel like um time stopped feeling real?
Time
Time
always,
itself?
yeah, that's 100%, 100%. Like the days are so fast, but also so slow. Like even now, I forget when my birthday is or what. Like you just stop paying attention. It all becomes just one boring, loud, like just boring as shit or super violent blur. It's all just
Yeah.
one blur.
I
Yeah.
remember when I very first got locked up, it was the days were long, but as time went on, they just blended together. Every day felt like the last.
Yeah. It's just a blur. Like there's nothing special about it if you don't give it some special meaning.
So how do guys break mentally in there?
So I saw it happen a lot. Like sometimes they'll break just because they're not used to being confined, and so they'll start talking to themselves. They'll start screaming all day and all night, banging on the showers, banging on the doors. Help! Get me out of here! And then sometimes they get really messed up, and they'll start like smearing themselves in shit, eating
See
shit,
that?
cutting themselves. At ADX,
Yeah.
people will literally like dig holes in their brains or cut off their arms, start eating it because they lose sense of humanity. They forget that they're human and that there's hope. Because when you feel hope, like what's the point?
Yeah,
It's bad.
I seen everything you just described, I seen in there. And
I
it's
believe it.
real.
Yeah.
It's real.
People don't realize how hard it is mentally to be in a spot like that. Like you'll hear dumb motherfuckers say, "Don't do the crime if you can't do the time," but they don't understand what the time consists of and how it can degenerate a brain, just make it fall apart. And that should never have to happen.
Well, what I try to get through is, anybody can get locked up. Somebody can just accuse you of something that you didn't even do, and you have to go to jail and prove that you didn't do it. But you'll be sitting in jail
Yeah.
proving it.
So like, let's say right now with Trump, let's say all of a sudden Trump says wearing black hats is illegal, and then they're going through social media posts looking for people who have black hats. Now all of a sudden your ass is in prison for something that wasn't a crime before, and you're having to deal with the consequences of a fascist government, and you're gonna wish that you hadn't worn that black hat or that you hadn't voted for that fascist. Fuck Trump.
What's the worst abuse you saw from the guards?
On myself or others.
Others. Well, you can say both.
So like, if it's myself, I don't know if you can see, I got this white line right here. I was handcuffed behind my back and they were searching my shower and I was just talking shit to one of the guards and they picked me up, slammed me on my head on the concrete, split my head open. I had to get 7 stitches. I had a concussion really bad, puking for a month. So that was really bad. Um, but the other stuff is violence, like seeing people get slammed for nothing, seeing people get their food taken away for nothing, seeing people get hospitalized. Like at USP Lee, they will hospitalize you if you're in shackles. Like if they put you in shackles for any reason, and there's 1,000 reasons. They will slam your face against the wall, grind your face against the wall, rip out bro's dreads, rip out your beard, piss on you, shove you down. Like they will demoralize you and just they will do everything possible to hurt you and hurt you mentally. It's just devastating. It's devastating. I hate the guard. I hate the guard so much. I have a tattoo on my back that says every cop is my enemy. And I stand by that.
It
Like,
sounded like you were fighting with them every day in there.
yeah. Like, cause they took so much. Like, as a human being, everyone has a line, right? And when someone crosses that line, you don't ration anymore. You don't have common sense anymore. And so I lost my common sense and acted like a goddamn idiot and got myself hurt a lot. I wish I hadn't.
What causes the most fights in prisons? Do you think?
between inmates or guards.
Inmates.
Debt. People people that don't have anything want something. They need something. They either need to change how their brains feel with drugs. They need food because they're hungry. They're just addicted to gambling. And it is shocking how many people will go into debt knowing that they're gonna like they watch other people get hurt. They will have put in work on someone who didn't have debt or didn't pay their debts. And then they will go into debt. And it's like, fool, don't do this to yourself, please. But that would happen at least sometimes once a day. But at least once a week you'd see someone get seriously hurt for not having money, for not having what they owed.
Yeah, it's just one of them things. You're in a place that's miserable, and you do anything to get that high, to get
Yeah,
that escape.
I
You
get
know,
it.
you know, you don't have the money for it, but you really want it, and people do it. They'll be like, "I want to feel good now." They're not thinking about the consequences.
Right. And something people forget, like people don't always realize this, convicts and free world people alike. Like someone will get, like, let's say you get 10 Suboxone strips, you feel like hot shit, now you got money and drugs. And then you check in with it. You go PC, so now you get to keep the drugs and you think you're safe. But they forget how small of a world the federal prison system is. So they'll go through the transport center or land somewhere else. You still stole that stuff. And so then they'll get just savagely destroyed at the next yard, because they
Yeah,
they wanted to get over on someone.
I actually had a story that I did. It sounded, familiar what you just said. It was another. I was When I was in prison, I was running with the Crips, and I was dealing with another Crip, and basically, he was middlemaning to get some Suboxone. It was like 15 strips. I sent him the money, and he took me off. He checked in with the stuff, and to this day, I don't know if he's still in there. I don't know if he got out, but he has to stay in PC because if he ever comes out, he owes that debt to somebody.
Yeah, and you can't un-PC. Like it's not like you can just say like, okay, I'm done. Here's your drugs back. No, no, you are finished for your entire bid. You people got to be smarter with their lives.
Yeah, I never knew anybody that was on like PC. So if you go PC, you can't never get off of it.
Fuck, you can request to get off of it, like Whitey Bulger requested to get out of a PC yard. But if you land anywhere and someone recognizes you or finds out that you are PC somewhere else, that green
Oh
light
yeah,
doesn't go away. So you're
yeah,
always accountable. I
yeah.
saw
If
that
you mean
happen
it
a
that way,
lot.
yeah.
It was bad.
So how fast can a situation escalate inside?
Oh my God, within seconds. You'll see people that were you think are friends even, and one disrespectful word, one slip up, like, oh, you a bitch, bro. What? What? Or like they feel like someone cheated them. Like the 32 pieces of boxing, they feel like it was maybe a 24. Just small shit like that. And all of a sudden knives are out or locks
But
are done.
it's called that an eye shot.
For
Yeah,
real. That burns. I only did it once, but it burns.
It-
Um,
yeah,
but like also you'll see people rush motherfucker. Like you'll see someone working out, they're working out with their friends, everything's cool, and then just one blinking of an eye, all of a sudden they're catching knives to the back, and other people are rushing because they never saw it coming. They got rocked to sleep. They thought everything was good. So yeah, I hate it. I hate it, dude.
yeah. You had to be prepared all the times. I remember, even like sitting on the toilet, going to the bathroom. You had to have your boots on. You know what I mean?
At
Yeah, it was
5:30
crazy.
a.m. before they even open the doors, like I'm going to recreation. Like I'm not even going to walk to breakfast or whatever. You got boots or shoes on at 5:30. Like if they open that door, you have to be prepared.
Yeah, I used to
Or
hate it.
you're
I
yeah.
hated it because I usually wake up. I wake up. I'm not a morning person, and in there they serve breakfast. You look out your window, it's nighttime. You
Yeah.
know, I couldn't get used to it.
Yeah. I'm used to it
D-
now. I'm still on that time right now.
Yeah. Do you,
I have
do
a
you
kid
think the
now.
guards were? Do you think the guards were scared of certain inmates?
I think the guards wanted to suck off certain inmates. They wanted to be their friends so bad. Like You see guards that will like literally suck up to somebody like these big time gang members because they want to feel accepted by them too. Like they get sucked into that institutionalization also. Like you'd hear guards at ADX come like, yeah, Chapo said I was one of the good ones, so like it's whatever, dog. Stupid shit like that where they're getting like false credit. It's gross. Like these guards are desperate to feel tough.
We had a couple of COs that were actually in the gang. You know, we did. We had this one CO lady. She had her hair dyed red, and she was a blood. Everybody knew it.
Just all of the guards in the federal prison are white, like they're in white militias, like 3%ers, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, and they wear that shit on their BOP vest. Like they have the badges that show like I'm affiliated with this nationalist group, and no one cares because they're all in the same groups. Like they all support it.
So, did you trust anybody inside, or was it
No,
hard for you to trust anybody?
no, I had like there was three people I met that I would consider friends, like actual friends, and one of them I would have trusted with my life. He's at ADX now too. He sliced a cop really bad. Um, Two of them were just like we're friends, like we're cool. I can sit with you and trust you. But out of 10 years, three people I would call friends that I trusted because everyone else, like just because they're cool now doesn't mean they'll be cool in 10 seconds. Doesn't mean they'll be cool
Yeah.
if you don't give them like some girl's address or phone number. Like it just you cannot trust people inside, and that takes a toll on you mentally.
Yeah, you know what? You're right about that because I remember those times where there was a homie that was like 5 cells down from me, and he didn't have no family sending him nothing in. He always asked the rest of us, the rest of the homies for stuff. And I remember one day he asked me for something for some commissary, and I was like, I had it, but I told him I was like, I ain't got it. Man, he got out that cell door. And he started, man, y'all don't ever help me. I don't even know why I mess with none of y'all. He just going
Yeah,
on and on. And I was just like, what, here, take it to him. Take it to him, man. And then as soon as he got it, oh, I was his best friend then. He was
yeah. That buddy hustle game is real. Like someone will be your best friend for that shot of coffee, and then your fucking biggest enemy if you say like I'm out.
yeah.
Don't trust these people.
No, they come to you and ask you for that shot of coffee and then they'll go a little bit downwards and they'll start talking crap about you, somebody else.
It's real.
Yeah. Yeah, you were spiritual in there. You want to talk about that a little bit?
I was spiritual like in my own world. Like I connected with with the people I consider my goddesses, my positive energy, my strength, and then I could use that as a way to I could just use that as a way to understand that this has an end date. Like you can survive this. You're not alone. You use that positive energy to generate positivity in other aspects of your life. That way you can have something to look forward to, have something to accomplish that day. That way you're not just sitting there just miserable and angry all the time. Because that's what they want. They want us miserable and angry. They want us bitter. They want us turning on each other. But if you can find hope in something, whether it's Islam or Jesus or yourself or goddesses, whatever, then that's a tool that a lot of people use positively, and I respect that.
What did you like meditate or something in there?
Yeah, I was meditating, I was doing yoga, I was just channeling positive energy, like looking at my wall and trying to find something beautiful within it, meditating, picturing success, picturing family, picturing being free. Just all these beautiful things that the world holds for you. I'd focus on those things, and that was my spirituality.
So did other inmates, did they judge your beliefs at all?
Um, some do. Like, yeah, there's the tough guys. There's the Viking type dudes. They call you like a tree hugger or some bullshit because you love nature. Um, but there was a core group that I was with. I guess I could say I trusted some of those bros too. That had the same beliefs and they were bigger and tougher than I was. So they would back that play. So you hear a little bit of like joking or shit talking, but nothing serious. Someone call me PC
What
again. Dude. I'll PC your ass.
what somebody in the comments?
Yeah,
So
idiot.
how for somebody that's going through somebody new that's going down the road that you were going down? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would I would really, really cautious people about what resistance looks like in the grand scheme. What does it mean to buck for you? What is your accomplishment? What is your goal? Because when I did it, I thought I was hurting these people, and I was only hurting myself for real. Um, and so there's a motto that my elders taught me, and it's fight to win. Like, pick fights that you can win, not fights that just get you hurt. Like, don't let your impulses, your reactionary behavior become something that hurts you. And I did that. Like, the guards would tear up a letter of mine, they're gonna couple piss in the face. You wouldn't give me my food tray for that day for lunch or dinner. I'm trying to get you. You're walking by, I'm grabbing your neck, and I'm trying to get you. And who does that hurt? Like, it doesn't hurt them. They go home. It only hurts yourself. So I would tell people to be really mindful if you're in prison to just be smart. Don't make it easy for them to hurt you. Make yourself better. Make yourself stronger, and that's how you win. You win by being better than they want you to be.
Yeah. Did you ever hear about the Glock Doogie? Did they ever have that in there?
Are you talking about where you make something, you spray shit in a guard's face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just
Yes.
wondering.
What when we used to have, we didn't always have commissary where I was at, but some places do, and you get like a shampoo bottle, and people would fill that with the shit in the milk, and when the guards walk by, boop, got them. I
Oh,
did that
you're
with a
actually doing
bowl
it to the
once.
guards.
Yeah, who else would you do it to?
They were doing it to inmates, everybody.
Oh,
Everybody.
I didn't even think about that. I would never shoot another inmate with shit. Like, that's coward
Hey,
behavior, in
there's
my
there's
opinion.
crazy people that do it to everybody.
Yeah, I would never. That's on some door shit. Don't do that. Get to the enemy if you're gonna get
Yeah,
anybody.
COs, man.
Yeah,
What the
it didn't go
so
well when I did it. It ended badly. Also, that's another thing that always ends
oh, you
badly.
actually did it?
Yeah, this guard, I was in the shoe fighting my second case for the assault. They were charging me with that and asking for 20 years. So I was back in the shoe fighting that, and this guard would always rip up my mail from my wife, or like I'd go out to wreck and he'd piss on my floor. I'd come back and all my pictures would be covered in piss. So I told him, like, do that again, and we're like, I'm going to ruin your day. He's like, all right, you fag, whatever, pussy. So, and as soon as he walks up, I grab that food tray from him. Thanks, bro. Right in the face. You're not gonna do that to me and my family. And then obviously you get pepper sprayed and chained, and they ruin your life. So
Oh
I
yeah.
don't.
You already know as soon as you do that, they're coming in that cell.
Yeah,
They're
don't do
coming
it,
in there.
and they're gonna hurt you.
So what was the day of release like?
Oh, it was. So I don't know about you, but like I always heard this stuff like it's people best day of your life, dog. Like, what are you gonna eat? You're gonna eat all the food. You're gonna fuck everybody. You're gonna brr. Like, I just done 5.5 years at that point straight of seg. I hated being touched. Like, I was scared. I was nervous. I felt dumb because like I was only in for 10 years, but the world changes in 10 years. So like I didn't understand stuff like with the smartphones, with Bluetooth, with QR codes. I just felt dumb. And so it was so beautiful, like having my wife and my kid with me and my friends, but I didn't feel like I could let my guard down because I was still holding all that trauma, all that fear and anger, and the way your body changes when you're in isolation for a period of time. So it wasn't a good day. And then you have to go straight to the fucking halfway house. So I had 2 hours out of prison, then right in the halfway house to deal with that bullshit. It wasn't a good day, honestly. It was great hugging my wife, but that was it.
Yeah, I mean for me it felt like I was being like reborn again, to be honest with
God
you.
bless. I'm
But
happy
I
for
was
you.
I was extra paranoid. I thought they were gonna come around the corner and grab me up again.
For real. Like, my release time was 8 a.m. 10:30 a.m. comes around, and I'm thinking like, you guys are fucking me. Like, you're not letting me out. This is what's about to happen right now. It's that paranoia and that fear is it's real.
What do you think's harder, prison or coming home?
Prison. Every aspect about prison. But like the thing with prison is you can adapt to it pretty fast if you're willing to if you're willing just to let go of your free life and just adapt, you can do it. The free world, like everyone is adapted already, and so it's like it's almost like you have to deinstitutionalize. So for me, it took time, like, to readjust to being around other people, to readjust to people being rude, to hear the word bitch or punk and like know it's not an attack on my life. To have someone bump into me and they're not trying to kill me. And I got on lots of mental health medicine. Like it that time was not easy for me, and I'm still working on it every day.
Yeah, I agree with you with that one because when you're in there, everybody talks a certain way. Everybody's got respect because if they don't, you know what's going to happen. But when you go in here to the outside world, and people are just out there with it, you're like
Yeah,
you're trying to hold yourself back because your first instinct is violence. That's your first instinct.
always. And like I wasn't used to internet wars, like people talking shit over the computer. Because in my head it's like, see me. Like you haven't been through a millionth of what I've been through. You cannot see me. But then there's so I wasn't used to that. My wife had to teach me how to like leave that shit alone. Like you don't have to respond. You don't have to accept this invitation to an argument that you don't want to be a part of. You don't have to RSVP to that shit. So yeah, you just gotta change.
Somebody in the comments asked, how mom asked, is state prison harder than federal prison? What do you think?
Um, I'd say federal is harder due to the lack of programming, and I'd say more violence. I've never been. I guess it depends on the state for real. But I can't imagine more violence in the USP system, and I can't imagine more restrictions than we have. Like the lack of programming, the I just can't imagine it. So I'd say feds, but that's coming from a very narrow point of view. Did you freeze? Oh, there you are.
No, I'm good. So what kind of when you got out, what good and what bad did you take away from it? Meaning like were you paranoid, the bad, and for the good, did you learn like more respect, discipline, patience, stuff
Huh.
like that?
So the bad would be the being around people stuff, the being angry for like no reason, the being like someone knocks on the door and you're what the fuck, stuff like that, like people being too close or standing behind me, like that's bad stuff. That's not how a free person lives. I've got like 6 locks on my door right now. Like you're not coming in my cell. You're not coming in my house. Uh, so that's the bad. The good would be like I learned kindness for real. Like seeing how shitty people
So you,
are to each other, like that made me want to be nicer to people. So prison helped me, or the way I handled prison helped me to have a good work ethic, but also just to treat people kindly. I don't want to be someone's prison guard. I don't want to be someone's shot caller and I'm trying to hurt them all the time. I don't like that shit.
you kind of messed up there. Can you rewind it back a little bit?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
It sounded like a robot for the last 10 seconds.
Oh my God. So basically, it's just kindness. I don't want to be someone's prison guard. I don't want to be someone's rep on the yard. I just want my kids to be happy, my friends to be happy. I want people to feel loved around me.
What for the future? What's your goals for the future?
So right now, I just put out a book about ADX and going to trial in the feds. So my future goal is like I'm going around promoting that book. I'm going to do talks about the harms of solitary confinement. Talks about um how brutal prison can be. So by the way, you're gone. Did I lose you?
No, I don't know what happened. This thing was going crazy, man.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so I'm just promoting this book and living a good life. I've got a really great job. I'm a paralegal, so I get to fight to keep people out of prison, and
Oh,
that's one of
that's
my
cool.
goals for the future. Make it to where my wife doesn't have to work, and I can help people.
So if the people they want to hear more about you and they want to know where to find you, what platforms are you on?
Yeah, so I'm just on Instagram. I stay away from like Twitter and the rest of them. It's just too much. So on Instagram, it's support Eric King. That's the page my comrades and my family made when I was locked up. So that's where people reach out to me. I help set up letter writing nights and stuff like that, and I'd recommend it.
All right, I'll put your description in the I mean, I'll put your Instagram in the description so people can find you if they want to.
Nope.
But yeah, I thank you for coming on here and sharing. That's a crazy story. From the Molotov cocktail all the way to the stomping on heads.
I yeah, I appreciate you. I ask people please buy the book. It's called A Clean Hell. It's about ADX. There's not many books about it, and I would
It's about your
definitely
time in there,
encourage.
right?
Yeah, I would encourage people don't go to prison. You don't get special points for it. There's nothing cool about it. You don't get cred. You don't look like.
Um, am I frozen or did he freeze? Oh, yeah, I think he froze. I don't know, man. I was ending it too. That sucks. It's gonna feel like the video's not complete now. I don't know if he's coming back. Let me try to message him. You froze. I bet you his phone died or something. That's what happened to the last guy. Oh yeah, his phone froze or something. Yeah, we were right there at the end of it too. That's crazy. Yeah, that was a crazy story though. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, without name of the book. Well, if you want, I'm gonna put his Instagram in the description, and if you go to his Instagram page, I'm pretty sure he has the book over there. Yeah, I would do, man. If I could get interviews, I would do 2 interviews a day if I could. It's hard to find people. You start getting to the really good people, like the semi-famous people, and then they want start wanting money. Like I'm talking about, like $1,000, $500. I ain't got that for no interview. I really don't. So I try to do as much as I can. I try to tell them, it's for a good cause to, keep young people out of prison, to show, basically to show how prison life is, show it to people that ain't never really been. That's basically trying to spread prison awareness. Yeah, but I'm gonna come back on. I want to talk about Red Onion. I'm still gathering information about it because I want to. I just don't want to talk about it for like 10 minutes. I want to have enough information where I can make it like a full segment out of it. So I'm gathering stuff about that. Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I got a couple of things I'm supposed to be doing. Try to set up some interviews for maybe tomorrow. Yeah, the Red Onion. Everybody wants to hear about Red Onion. I didn't never know about it until everybody started bringing it up. I heard about Red Onion Randy, and I guess he was somebody that had life, and he like tells how dangerous it is over there. Like the COs, basically the same thing that guy was talking about, how the COs treated him. They say that it's like that at Red Onion too. And it's not that far away from me. I ain't gonna lie. Was it like West Virginia or something? Yeah, but thank everybody for coming, and I hope y'all enjoyed the interview. I'm gonna continue bringing, some great stories y'all's way. So just stay in touch. Yeah, Virginia, that's where it was. Virginia, not West Virginia. Virginia. All right, but I'm signing out. Thank you guys for coming.